We're live. It's Sam, Michael. The previous one ended up being AsyncVoter. I called it on website 1. I've started this one on AsyncVoter. It'll probably end up being last one. Who knows? Michael was just saying, yeah, interesting that Google has restored. Well, I mean, the interesting thing, I think particularly, is did they intentionally restore the functionality, having noticed, you know, the things from us? You know, we got 16 stars and 12 upvotes for this thing. Obviously, there was just a discussion.
I mean, they must have, right? Intentionally restored it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they might. I would say they might have intentionally restored it. It might have been that they were just always in the process of like transitioning some stuff, and you know that they may have, the people who actually made the restoration. There's kind of like some. If you got there's some background, strange background noise. Anyway, I mean, they might have not received any of our. You know, anything from us and not known. It may have been that it would always get fixed on that date because that was when some other part of the infrastructure was rolled out. It may have been that you know, that it's entirely by accident that, you know, on that date something got rolled out that happened to fix it. You know, and there wasn't even any intention behind it. I mean, I think we just don't know, and without more information, it's difficult to say. And we can sort of use a Bayesian prior to say, oh, it seems unlikely that it would kind of fix without somebody explicitly trying to make it work, but you know, I just don't know.
I mean, maybe they've rolled it out because they realize that they're not ready to roll out the functionality through YouTube yet.
Maybe.
In a month or two, it'll break, and they'll say, "Oh, you have to rewrite everything and do it."
Maybe, absolutely. I mean, it leaves us in a very strange state. I mean, also, I mean, Google, they have open sourced their entire like their cloud computing platform and their AI thing and so on. I mean, it would be nice if they. I mean, I think Google has traditionally been very, you know, closed source and using open source, but closed sourcing their own stuff. Oh, we lost Michael. Anyway, well, while Michael sees if he can get back in. I'm going to go. So in principle, apparently, for this tree thing, I mean, I'm going to check out master here. Git remote. If I get remote add production, it seems like I could just. What they're saying from Dree is, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Welcome back. So yeah, I just, yeah. I mean, I heard an interview with Google people about their cloud thing that I think they realized that there it's like. There's some other thing, I think maybe it's Docker or whatever, the previous version where they kept their thing closed source. They kind of defined the standard, but then like that open source community took off around the standard, and then basically they ended up having to kind of like, you know, pay to use the software or something that was based on their standard or whatever. Anyway, I mean, they ended up having less control as a result of having a closed source implementation. So I think there's, you know, there's tides within Google maybe that push them towards open source. Clearly, Hangouts is not there, but yeah, I mean, we're like for me this the Hangout toolbox thing that allows me to pop up the you know, my lower third thing, like, you know, that hasn't been saving the things. That's been kind of like partially broken. I mean, it's unclear what the future for Hangout plugins is. Like, you know, time invested in doing that. Could be, you know, it could be that like basically from next Thursday or from tomorrow or from in a year's time, that will all just disappear. Right. You know, people are very, I think, pleased that our functionality has come back on the website and so on. But as you say, it could just all go away again, or it could be stable for another couple of years. It's and that's a very difficult. It's, you know, it would be, you know, nice if Google could just say something like, yeah, we're not sure about this. You know, it really could go any time. Or if they'd say, no, we definitely plan to support for the next year, but then the bets are off, that would be very nice of them. But they seem to be, I mean, I've noticed this generally, is that it's almost impossible to get answers from Google people on stuff like that. Like on all of these forums and everything, it's all sort of self-serve oriented, and it's almost never that a Google person comes in and says, yeah, this is what the way it is and what we've done. Very differently from, say, GitHub, for example, who always respond to my emails and so on. But so I'm trying to work out how to make a custom name in Dree, and they're telling me, I think I can just
Well, remember, I mean, GitHub is a bit more of a traditional company than Google. They actually have a product, and they're actually trying to sell that product to end consumer.
Right.
Whereas Google is trying to collect data on you and use that to sell ads for other people.
Sure.
It's different.
Yeah, but I know lots of traditional companies that are absolutely appalling at then giving me any information or feedback. I mean, I think it's just it's an attitude towards customer service. I think there's it feels like there's
I think you're not the customer is the thing. That's the point.
Maybe so.
With Google, you're not the customer. You're the
I'm not paying GitHub anything either. But they think that I might do. But as it happens, I am actually paying. I pay Google for enterprise support. And they're absolutely
not getting you anything.
No, I mean, the whole issue with the Google Hangout. I mean, I don't know if you remember, like 2 years ago,
wasn't Hangouts part of enterprise at some point or another?
Yeah, that's right. And we had that sort of customer support person from Google, in a Hangout one time, and they were just absolutely useless in terms that they were sort of totally non-technical. And I think it's just a different. You might be right about. Am I really the customer, or what have you? I think there's just what I sense from Google is that they kind of, they build things and they're only really interested in interacting with you on their own terms, is what it feels like. But anyway.
Right.
But so I'm just going to see if I can try and create a custom thing here. Is that so? Git push production master. And that seems to be working. Yeah. So I just did. Which seems to be deploying.
So it's very similar to Heroku.
Yes.
In terms of just pushing to a branch and.
Yes, although in Heroku you'd have to create an app first, but here you just push it. That's it. So now I would expect this to fail because then the annoying thing here is in order to get the logs, I have to. And they say they're working on making this easier. I have to have the whole. I have to go here and I have to go master dot. So I just called this async voter production. So and then maybe there shouldn't be any logs at the moment. That's fine. Now I need to set the. Now I'm tempted to set up a new MLab instance for this. Because I have a feeling that may actually be the problem. I'll just log into MLab on this other window.
Hillary still hasn't delivered her concession speech.
No. Oh, I think
she's. It be at 10:30, and now it's 11:30 almost.
Yeah, I think she's not going to go out without a fight. And then it's offering me a region, address space, create new private environment, MLab.
Well, Trump said he would have her arrested.
Did he?
Yeah, in the debates, he told her that she would be arrested.
Goodness me. Goodness me. That's really quite remarkable. Wow. Wow. Yeah, and so the thing here with this, I'm creating a new Mongo deployment on MLab, is it's not so friendly for our open thing here because I kind of like to get the URL for it is then sensitive because it contains the password, and like I have to do that in a different thing, otherwise we end up exposing the annoying thing. Actually, the Elephant SQL setup, which turns out to be a Swedish company, actually. The Elephant SQL ends up
really,
yeah, they're a Swedish company, that they've got a nice just single link sort of drag and drop. Still, I managed to get it wrong in the first thing. Okay, and so I have to add a new database user for that to be set up with. This is definitely something where, the fact that what are they called? Heroku just sort of handles all of this for us. So here now I have to do this. There's like I have to do like, is it configure? Come back over here and we look for tree push. I wasn't calling them dire, but getting started. That was the logs thing, and then there, so we need the. So I've got SHH, all of that, and then key equals value. So I want MongoDB equal to my MongoDB string, and it's not the right window. So yeah, we are working against just MongoDB. If I have to set the port somehow, I guess that's no, that's set already. So that's done. Oh, it doesn't like that. Oh, configure environment. This will be a bit smoother. I've configured the environment allegedly. All right, so we now have an app allegedly at this endpoint. And we're getting bad gateway on that as well. Let's have a look at the logs. It's saying, tell the author that this fails on your system. Node bin server. Okay, that's not very helpful. We'll just clear that. So the error as it stands here. Okay, well, that's going to be enough. Okay, I'll tell Dree, so deployed to this, but with completely fresh DB, but failed with 502. Logs say I guess there was some other. I'll just have a quick look at the env variables in toto there. Yeah, that otherwise looks okay. Just tell them I also noticed that all branch is seen to share the env vars, which could be confusing. I'll send them the video. We were doing all this in the beginning of this stream. Okay, I guess I'll tell that was trying to push to tree, having some trouble there. I guess I asked them, is there some, this all worked before, is there some way to see history of our deploys? Okay, all right, well that's that done. So in the time remaining to us, my meditation alarm goes off. Calm, patience, there we go. So meditation for now. So it's not clear if this thing we were looking at yesterday was even necessarily a bug.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the end of yesterday. Too.
Yeah,
like, are we sure that it really is?
No, not sure. I mean, I think the thing to, I mean, the way that we can check whether it is a bug or not is we can have a look at website 1 here. So this is the branch that we're on. I've still got the server running there. I forget on which port. I think I must have it on 3000, of course, otherwise the GitHub login doesn't work. I've got let's bring that in over there. I end up just running through so many unnecessary tabs in. I just don't close them fine, and then ultimately it ends up completely overwhelming my oh, this was that link about how to run a single test in what's it called, Node, if you're interested. Let's get rid of all of those things. Yes, okay, and we'll just start doing, let's move to here at the beginning of this one and start with localhost 3000. Sasha was in this from this morning. Right, so I mean, we've got this Pacific Rim Scrum and pair hookup in 8 minutes. So, and in my local thing, we were manually starting this several times yesterday. If I change this so that we have it set to the start time of 4:30, like so, this would be where I thought the bug was occurring, in that, yes, this is the problem. So this is actually a bug, because this has been set, it's been manually set previously. It's got to the time that it's live, and the problem is that the most recent hangout for this, which involves this HTTP banana malarkey, it is true. So I think it is a potential bug. Does it make sense there? Children trying to kill each other in the background. Good God. Let's just get into these fights. It's ridiculous. So like we have the event there, and we get the event's recent hangouts. It doesn't find any. That's looking for the recent ones. So that's the problem actually with the, because that's using created at, because I'm still trying to find one kind of bug. I get this. I should sensibly restart that, because it could be, that gets very out of date, doesn't it? Here, the event recent hangouts. Yeah, so it finds this hangout from yesterday, and the URL set directly is true, and so that's why it thinks it's live. I suspect if we do first live question mark, it says true. So that I think it is potentially a problem if people are late starting hangouts. They'll end up in it, and they've been manually set previously by themselves. Right. So the question it brings us back to is why were we not able to expose that problem in the test. We have the other issue that from the event instance controller, that these Twitter service operations end up trying to pull information out of the participants array, and that kind of goes south, I guess.
Right. So you could provide a setup like we have in the factory. But...
We could do. Yeah, I was just thinking that was probably the path of least resistance. I mean, ideally, these services would be more resilient in the face of, rather than just failing. They should just, well, if I haven't got a Hangout thing, I should just not do it. But we don't want to get sidetracked into that. App. So I want to look at the factory. The factory itself, I think the way it creates the participants is horribly convoluted. Factories, event instance. Yeah, it does this, what have you. See, what I would want is just then it has to wrap them up into two of them. Like, I think somewhere I've just got an example of like what the participants thing should be. Oh, my leg. Find it. Another thing about this, the whole fixture stuff, is it ends up seeing participants. Participant steps. Let's just see here. Yeah, so we've got like, if we just have, just for the time being, famous, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, sir. We are in our Hangout steps. That is our factory goal there that we've just made a, thought we made, am I on the wrong branch now? What's this? No, we are still in that ensure manual override switches. Oh, is it added it at the end? Oh, right, we've done this. So if we stick that incredible bit of ugliness in there, then we just want to, we can just hash participants equals participants, like so. So that, we could then, can we get back to running that feature? So like the big, like Dree, although they've got a they're clearly not as advanced as Heroku at the moment. They've got me in their Slack room, and I'm getting immediate support and updates for them. So that's okay. So that's now failing here. Okay. So it's still, this is failing on the Twitter thing. No, or events instances controller 83 merge participants. Okay. So there's some other difference here. There's a pointer here. This is our code where we try to get the new participant structure and we try and merge it in. Bloody hell. So I think does it have to be an array? I end up using that there. Ping with participants. Oh, there's a. Yeah, participant just goes in there. That would, well, we've got other tests that are just hitting it with. That would be that. So why line number is this erroring on? 83, 72, 83. 72. At this point, it tries to merge the participants. It pulls that out. And it's going in through each. . The DRE people are just asking me to run something that they tell me is going to look ugly. I think is this controller 83, 83? It's in each. There's something that's nil in there. I mean, I guess it feels like that should work. I guess there's a difference here that this is actually sending a put request, where the participants here is gonna, we've got all these different sorts of things here that's coming in there. That's, I guess it comes in, that's the way this comes in, but it's sort of I don't understand what's going on there. I guess I might as well just run that with that alternative, having put it in an array. Did I even save that? It looks saved. I guess the other thing to do is to put up debug in there. And I guess this is now, it's clearly creating those entities. But the update takes place. You should not be so sure about the order of the execution there. So that's person, another update. Okay, so we're in here. So new participants is nil. Okay, and is that because I just spelt params participants wrong? Hash participants. Oh, okay. So I guess we've got the issue there. That this is when we do the manual update. Right. Okay. So this is, we're doing the manual update, and the new participants are nil because it's not coming in. So we've got the URL set directly there. So we can end up with more convoluted junk about saying, I mean, I guess, what have we got this? With this, we return new participants unless existing participants. And basically, if new participants is nil, I guess shouldn't it? Basically, here it should be return. We should say return existing participants unless new participants. Really, what we want, but that should probably allow that test to pass. Yeah. Any thoughts on what I was saying about, you know, trying to evolve all of this towards some sort of cleaner domain model?
Sorry.
Sorry?
Sure. Sounds great.
Okay. I guess you're not bothered either way.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing to look at over there from Matt on the Demify. Does that now? So that now, okay. So that now passes and avoids the problem of yeah. So now we come back to, we have a a cleaner. Let's see. I don't know where the feature is. Where's the feature? Come on.